possible for us to make this event as a marker, a point that a resolution could be made, that enough of our failure is enough, and something else must give way to our failure. We have failed enough, and I think we should now put a mark saying, agree that we have failed enough, we have failed this country enough, and this must stop. Let me give you a small story about my personal experience in Kano in the last election. I was assigned to go around the country to see as many traditional leaders as possible, my parents, which is court and politics. Court and politics are Siamese twins. Forgive me, those in the medical profession. Siamese twins. And no surgeons anywhere in the world have been able to separate politics from courts or from the law, constitutions, whatever. But this is the relationship between politics and so on. And in this country, where we're in a hurry to borrow, not only money, but borrow ideas, even if they don't work for us. We, in 1976, some of us were old enough to participate in the transition program to move the country from military after Gowon administration and after the takeover by Murtala and Obasanjo. Constituent Assembly was being set up, and technology, you haven't bought a good one. Some of our elders were there. The Maitama Sules, the Mala Aminu Kanos, and so on were there. Some of us, the very young ones, who were there to learn as well as to participate, were also there. And so right now, and the process started. And we were hoping that it was going to be a liberal discussion in terms of really looking at the country, having gone through the tragedy of 1966 and the tragedy of the Civil War and so on, and our military experience of 9 years under our gentle General Gowon. We are now ready to return to civilian administration. What we expected as a starting point, having gotten together a constituent assembly, was to discuss why the system that was kicked out in 1966 failed us. Was it the system or was it the operators? Or both? These are some of the points that should give us the starting point of our various discussions and so on. But to our surprise, Malam Aminu Kano and Maitama Sule and others who were there to give us the guidance in terms of the debates that will ensue, came back with the story that they have been told that there will be no discussion on parliamentary system of government, and that the decree, or rather the directive given to those who are managing the process, is that there will be no discussion on parliamentary, rather they should go and search for a presidential system. And at that time, the two options were available, the French model and the American model. And we cried out, but we didn't succeed in getting the leadership at that time to change their minds. I remember my classmate and friend who died with this issue of parliamentary, Ibrahim Tahir Talba, and the personal assistant to Sardauna from Kogi, somebody should remind me his name, his personal no, it's not Awoni. Awoni was in the office of the Sudan. Anyway, they died with the idea of parliamentary system. They tried everything for this country to look at the issues reasonably well, to understand why the system we threw out without giving it a chance would not be discussed again. And there it is today. Yes, thank you. 5 years we tried parliamentary from 1968 to 1965, to some extent 66. And now we have been trying presidential system for 24 years. 24 years. And the failure is so glaring. And as a former teacher, Dakas, forgive me, being current teacher, are you marking A1, A2, and so on? I'll mark my father's A1, A+, and the current leaderships and so on in recent years, F9, F9, F9. So you see, this book, which carries the subject that is core to any practice called democracy, has to do with politics and law. And this is the subject in this book, which is being presented to the public today. And it gives an opportunity not just to the lawyers, to the practical politicians, to everybody, to the voters. Everyone is involved in looking at what is in there and why we need to really seriously look at not only the subject in the book, but its application, which has failed us over the years. The last speaker has spoken. He is quite direct, and he's also courageous in admitting that a lot of things are wrong, not only in the political process that eventually lead us to find leaders or to find rulers, as the case may be, because there are differences between rulers and leaders. And in the case of our law courts, there is no need for me to say anymore. You will all see it by all experience that some of you may have had. I had my own experience. I won an election, governorship election in Kaduna State. I'm sure General Agwai will remember that. But I was told that in one tribunal or the other, I lost to the loser. So you see, I'm sorry if I'm taking too much time, but my appeal here is that after launching this book and given the opportunity this launching has brought about leaders, not just people, but leaders, the time has come for us to really go back to the drawing board. That is my last word. Go back to the drawing board so that this country can be saved. Thank you very much.